Aspen and Olivia picked some beautiful wildflowers. If Aspen gives Olivia 2/3 of her flowers, Aspen will have quarter as many flowers as Olivia. If instead Olivia gives Aspen 1/3 of her flowers, Aspen will have 21 more flowers than Olivia. How many flowers do the two girls have altogether? So I'm going to solve this problem visually, and I have a nice table. The table kind of summarizes the information given in the purple sentence, and this is what I mean by it. This sentence, that's the original scenario, and it reads, if Aspen gives Olivia 2/3 of her flowers, Aspen will have quarter as many flowers as Olivia. So take a look. If you take Aspen's 1/3 and cut and paste it to Olivia's cell, take another 1/3 because Aspen is supposed to give 2/3, give it to Olivia. And now look, Aspen has a quarter of what Olivia has. So that has to be correct. If Aspen has 3 equal parts, Olivia must have 2 equal parts. And each rectangle represents 1 unit of flowers. Aspen has 3 units and Olivia has 2 units, except for we don't know what each unit rectangle is worth. That's what we're going to find out. Now let's work on the second scenario, this one. If instead Olivia gives 1/3 of her flowers, Aspen will have 21 more flowers than Olivia. The problem is, this is where we are. However, it's very hard to give 1/3 of Olivia's flowers to Aspen. What I have to do is take 1/3 of the first rectangle that Olivia has and give it to Aspen. Then take the second rectangle, cut it into 3 equal parts, take one of those parts and give it to Aspen. But since it's hard to do, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to replace each of Olivia's orange rectangles with 3 equal parts. Basically, the third table is the second scenario, except for Olivia's 2 rectangles were replaced with 6 smaller squares, and 3 of those squares form 1 unit rectangle. Now, if Olivia has now 6 equal parts and 1/3 of 6 is 2, so that means Olivia is giving Aspen 1/3. 1/3 of 6 is 2, so she's giving Aspen 2 of her squares. Now, the question says Aspen has 21 more flowers than Olivia. So what do I do with that fact coming from the orange or golden sentence? Basically, what we are being told is this much. The extra boxes that Aspen has must represent 21 flowers. That's what the orange sentence tells me right here. Right here. So I'm going to write 21 flowers here. Okay, now how many additional squares does Aspen have? Well, each unit rectangle is made of 3 smaller squares. And here I have 2 squares, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7, Aspen has 7 additional squares. Let's write it down. And she has 21 additional flowers. That allows me to conclude that each square must represent 3 flowers. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So each square is worth 3 flowers. Okay. If each square is worth 3 flowers, each rectangle is comprised of 3 squares. So each rectangle will be worth 9 flowers. Okay, now we're almost done. I need to find out how many flowers do the two girls have altogether. Well, Aspen has 3 parts. Each part represents 9 flowers. So she must have 9 times 3, 27 flowers. So Aspen must have 27 flowers, and Olivia must have 2 times 9 or 18 flowers. Now the question wants us to find the sum of these two numbers, which is not too bad. We can say together they have 27 plus 18 is 45. 45 flowers. That's my answer. Together they have 45 flowers. And you can check your work against the two statements, the purple statement and the orange statement, and it should pan out. The answers are correct.